The Martians. Chapter 27 Situation. I think Mark will be fine. Katie was a childhood friend and I heard all that. I was going to come in but I heard Mark talking. Quite a story. I did not expect that. I figured Mr. Pyro left a shrine to kilotons. I guess that explains why he did the St. Jude's thing in such a big way. No, the situation we have is me. Lewis said. I'm not following, Mindy replied. An emotionally compromised leader isn't a leader. Okay, remember when Beth saw the only man she loved get killed with an antenna array, then found out he wasn't dead and decided to live her best life with him no matter what? Yes, but we have that worked out, at least for the journey home and… Mindy. The same thing happened to me. Yesterday. I've emailed my lawyer and told him to restart the divorce. I saw Mark die. I can't. I won't live with Bob knowing inside how I feel about Mark, and so I'm emotionally compromised. I may need you to take over the mission. The pair stared at each other considering Lewis's words until Mindy spoke. If you are, then I am too. I think maybe in a way everyone on the ship is. You're right to dump Bob. Mark hit it on the head when he said you deserved better. You do. As to Mark, well, Beth and I came to an arrangement. I'm sure Beth, you and I can work that out. What we did was decide to not get in each other's way and let Mark pick. Neither of us would ever willingly split with him again, and it sounds like you won't either. So, let's do that. I can't be involved with a crewman and neither can I. Neither can Beth, neither can Mark. This wasn't supposed to happen, but it has, and we are just going to have to deal with it. We're all hurting, we're all lonely, and we're all at the breaking point. We have 2 months to get through, and with all we've been through so far, especially you and Mark, we can make it. I know you can compartmentalize, I've seen you do it. I saw you put aside your feelings for Mark the entire time we were on Mars. I saw you lead us here when all we really wanted to do was break down from Mark dying. I didn't do anything, you did all that. So, it will work. We must get through the next 4 months the same way you did 16 on Mars. It will work. It must. If not, then Rick will have to take over. I'm no more fit than you are, obviously. I saw Mark die too. I was there. But damn, Mark is going to be worn out. Mindy grinned. Lewis stared for a second at Mindy before grinning. Yes, I think he is. The poor boy. We should ask Beth to join us for a minute. Yes, I guess she needs to know about Mark and I. Well, I hadn't thought of that actually. I just haven't had a chance to tell her the no fraternization rule is relaxed. Yeah, we better get her. Her and Mark are both off tonight. We're such nice leaders. Always putting the needs of the crew first. Missy laughed. Think we can get Dana and Chris to boost his B&E vitamin intake? Mindy said as she rose to retrieve Beth. We will make sure he has the finest medical attention within a couple million miles. Mindy slid the door to Mark's quarters open an inch, and asked Beth to join her and Lewis, which Beth reluctantly did. Mark and Beth were just beginning what Beth just knew was going to be an epic makeout session that would leave her both giddy and frustrated, and she didn't want it to end. First, this is an off-duty conversation. Not logged, not recorded. I'm Missy. This is Mindy, you are Beth. We aren't officers on a NASA craft, you aren't here as SysOp. Understand? Sure, Beth answered, sounding worried as she assumed she was about to get reprimanded for making out with Watney. Good, so the thing is, let's sit down. The thing is, Beth, you need to know, well, when Mark and I were stranded we both thought we would die on Mars. We kept working and put on a brave face for the world and Hermes, but both of us knew the odds. Our crew has always been close, but, well, we kept it professional. Then my jerk at home demanded a divorce and I broke down. Like every other woman, I think Mark is just great. I've always been attracted, just like you and Mindy have. Like I said, we thought we were going to die, and Bob kicked in the face publicly and… You really should dump him, you deserve so much more, Commander, Beth said. No, I mean, yes, I do, but I'm not Commander, this isn't a Commander speech. The thing is, well, I was there, Mark was there, we were all alone and knew we would die and, well, I gave in to my temptations and urges and desires and... Oh my God. You and Watney. Missy could only stare through glistening eyes and nod. After a long silence Beth finally said, well, given the circumstances It's not something I'm proud of, but I'm human. It's okay, it's been a difficult time. I understand. Beth said, seemingly disappointed at Missy's lapse in judgment. No, I'm not ashamed either. Look, a year and a half ago you saw the only guy you loved, really loved, die, and when you found he wasn't dead, you decided no matter what, you were going to be together. You went back to Mars for that reason and... Well, we wanted to get you to... Geese, you're... Well, yes, but you had the added incentive. I get that. The thing is, yesterday I saw the only man I love die too, and I've come to the same decision. Oh. Well, that changes everything, Beth said to Mindy. No. No, it doesn't. It doesn't change anything. Our plan stays in place, it doesn't change, we stay out of each other's way, we don't try to sabotage each other, we spend as much time with Mark as he wants, and in the end he decides. Before he could have decided you, or he could have picked me, or he could have rejected us both and picked someone else. He still can, and we still do, we're all grown-ass women here. Nothing, absolutely nothing has changed. Can we all agree with that assessment? Mindy asked. None of us asked for or like this situation, but we are in it. That sums it up, I guess, Missy replied. Yeah, I suppose. This is quite a revelation, it's going to take me some time to process, but yeah, I guess that's about it, Beth finally said. Okay, so can we all agree to not put each other down, try to interfere, and just let Mark make up his own mind, and act like real grown-ups with our big girl pants on when he does? If Beth said quietly. What? Missy asked, not sure she had heard correctly. If he makes up his mind. What if he doesn't? Beth smiled. Well, then we move on home and figure it out there. The important thing is that we aren't enemies, or opponents, or adversaries. We aren't little girls fighting over a crush. Mark has free will in this, and we're just going to have to accept it, even if he gets it wrong and picks one of you. We are in space and must work together harmoniously to get back home. One mistake by any of us could kill us all, and we don't need to be distracted by petty romance games like we are in the 7th grade. Oh, that seemed a bit catty. Missy laughed. I thought you were calling me in to chew me out for kissing Mark just now, but well, after all this time and we were finally alone for a minute and... Beth said, improper fraternization and all that. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. She still doesn't know, does she? Missy asked. Know what? Well, I promised you nothing would go on while we on Mars, and it didn't. Come on. Missy here has decided, given the length of our trip and our time in space, to relax that rule, so long as it doesn't become problematic. And it's not going to become problematic, is it? That will never be logged or transmitted, of course, and no one outside this room needs to discuss it, although all of Vicky knows, including Mark. We're just keeping it on the low down. Well, I guess Chris knows too by now, Mindy giggled. You mean, what do you mean? Beth asked. I'm totally fucking Mark Watney now. I promised nothing would happen on Vicky, and it didn't. I didn't promise anything about Hermes, and I'm totally fucking Mark Watney. Mindy stated plainly. And I'm fucking Mark Watney too, Missy added. Oh. Well, Okay, I'm fucking Mark Watney too, Beth nearly laughed. So how is this going to work? Same as before, only with more, Mindy smiled. Fucking. Yes. Except of course with me it will be sweet, passionate love, Missy replied. Well, with me, and Mark, it will be a joyous union of our souls, Beth grinned. I'm going to start with just fucking Mark Watney and see how it goes, Mindy laughed. The best news, for you anyway, Beth, is Missy and I are both on the work schedule for the next 4 hours, me for the next 8. I really hope Rick knows how to run this ship because I don't. See you 2 in the morning. Mindy asked as she turned to go to the comm center. Sleep well, Beth, I want you rested and ready for blue shift in the morning. Now if you will excuse me, I think I'll get to work. Lewis said with a smile. She was happy they were of one accord on what was a difficult and unplanned issue. It wasn't what she hoped for, or expected, but it was the only workable solution they had for the time being. It was going to be an interesting trip home. The next day, after 3 shifts on board, Mark was exhausted but resting quite well. It was then that Missy, Mindy and Beth explained their plan to him, just as Beth was about to begin her second round of downtime. "So, you're all going to, for lack of a better word, date me and leave it up to me to decide who I'm with?" "Yes. We're all grown up and in a very awkward situation, Mark. We have to work together, and this is no one's fault," Missy replied. "It's kind of Mark's fault," Mindy giggled. "True, but here we are," Beth smiled. And if I don't decide?" Mark asked after a long pause. "Well, we finish the mission and you decide when we get home. Or we all can bail on you if we want. Right now, none of us want to, and, well, you seem happy," Mindy smiled. "Okay, I've decided," Mark said. All looked nervously side to side at one another until Missy asked, "Who did you choose?" "We're all okay with whatever you are." "All of you?" "I've never broken up with anyone." "You've all dumped me before, so you figure it out," he grinned. "So, you're going to wait until we are back on Earth and then?" "No, I'm not deciding then either. I care for all of you, all of us. If you can live with it, so can I. If you can't, I can find a way to get through that too." "You're asking me to reject 2 of you?" "I'm not. I'm never going to do that. You all, each of you saved my life. I'm not going to repay you that way, and even if you had not, I adore each of you in your own way. You are amazing and wonderful people. You have figured out that you can coexist with me. Well, I figure I can too, so I'm not picking. I think we just let it ride and play out however it does."